Hey everybody, happy Sunday. Thank you for joining. Hope everybody is very well today. And let's see if this thing is working. It is working. Woohoo. It's amazing when technology works. This is live. I do this live because I hate video editing. And I like being with you live as well. It's much more fun. So this is the time of the week where we get thousands of questions every week. And we try to gauge the temperature of the room by assessing exactly what is on people's minds. So here we are, Sunday Q&A. Your questions answered. And sometimes they get harder and harder. So it takes a long time. We've got about 30 slides to get through. So math, money, freedom. And this is Edutainment. This is to help you guys all preserve capital, grow it, and become financially free so you can make the world a better place. That's the mission here. No frill, no shill. So the first question is from Elise Monroe. There was a recent event where all crypto plunged. How does this happen across the crypto board? Judging visually, most of the dips look to be of the same ratio. And this is a great observation. And a lot of people always have this question. Why does Bitcoin and Ethereum fall at the exact same time with the exact same kind of curve? So let's look at a couple of things. One, Bitcoin is the 800-pound gorilla. So the market tends to follow what that does. If Bitcoin tanks, the rest of the market does tank. Part of the reason is because sometimes there are trading pairs used to trade. And imagine if you are in a Bitcoin Ethereum contract or Ethereum Cardano contract, whatever else, that pair will drive things down. Now, the sentiment also drives the market. So if people see the mothership falling, they dump what they have as well. And rotations are more common these days as well. Now, what I mean by rotations is people tend to go in and out of different sectors. So it could be meme coins. It could be metaverse. It could be smart contract platforms. It could be Bitcoin itself. All things rotate. So let's look at a couple of charts to kind of explain what's happening as well. And this is a very tricky question and there's no simple answer. But if we look at the Ethereum Bitcoin correlation year to date, we can see a big difference. So Ethereum, let me blow this up. Ethereum is up 457% and Bitcoin's up 71%. But you'll notice the big dips and increases over time. So you see times when Ethereum goes on a complete tear and Bitcoin kind of stays flat. So this is kind of interesting. We're going to see more and more of that as well happen over time. Now this is another chart that looks at the last 90 days of Bitcoin and Ethereum and the correlation. You can see they kind of move up and down, but there are times when, again, Bitcoin runs faster or Ethereum runs faster. So for example, if there's a market where Bitcoin dominance is high, Ethereum will fall, and vice versa. So it all really depends. So they're not exactly correlated. But there is one thing that I do want to point out, and that is futures stabilize markets. So this is the ETH Bitcoin correlation and the futures impact with the 30-day rolling correlation of Bitcoin to Ether. You can see after the launch of the Bitcoin futures contracts, the correlation became really, really tight over time, sometimes above 0.9 to 1, which means they are extremely correlated with, of course, some big dips and some exceptions. Again, Ethereum's a faster horse, Bitcoin's a bigger machine. Think $500 billion versus $1 trillion in assets. So it takes a lot more to move Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's a lot safer and less volatile. And that's kind of where we are. So taking that into account, you can see again, the futures put the lid on activity, and we're seeing some of that now with the Bitcoin ETF futures. I'll talk a little bit later about the spot futures and the impact as well on that as we get to it. So great question, Elise. Thank you so much. Next question is from Arkel. I have a good bit invested in GBTC at $24 and $38, and I was thinking it would turn into an ETF. I'm wondering what to do, stay in or sell. Great question. Again, very common all the time. So first of all, let's look at the discount today. So let's call this the GBTC sell or Hodl. So you can see from this chart, the discount is still very high. We get close to 20%. Sometimes it goes above like 21%. Then it comes right back to about 15%. We are currently at 17.08% right now. So it's a no-brainer. If you have a 3, 4, maybe even 5-year time frame, it's a no-brainer to buy this, even with the 2% management fee, because it will convert to a spot ETF, no doubt in my mind. If we look at the chart of GBTC versus Bitcoin, you'll see a couple of things here. Last year, just over the last year or so, GBT is up 300%. and Bitcoin's up 416%. This goes back to, I think, summer of 2020 or fall or something. I'm not sure when, but you can see that Bitcoin pure form is always better. So, but if you're getting a 17.5% discount, it's worth eating it and taking that. Remember as well, this chart takes into account times when GBTC was selling at a premium. So it flipped from a premium to a discount. At some stage, I think it was late 2020, it was selling at a 40% premium. So if you're buying $100 worth of GBTC, you're only getting $60 worth of Bitcoin at the time. So anyway, that's just a little bit of the situation. But I would say hold for now and wait. And I do believe, related to this, I do believe a spot ETF is coming real soon. So this was a related question. Can you review risks of holding GBTC versus Bitcoin? And here, real simple, discount is unreal, 2% management fee. It will convert to a spot in June 2022. So in terms of risks, there are none. Again, these guys have 650,000 Bitcoin. It's a very well managed, very well regulated operation. And I wouldn't be concerned at all. But if you can get the pure form, always get the pure form, especially if you're thinking of holding 5 years plus. Then you don't want that 2% eating away, because that does compound and become quite substantial over time. So let's go to the next question. James once said he will sell ADA at $3. Why not sell ADA now and buy Solana? From Deco. So again, we're in that exit strategy season. I did my first exit strategy video, I think it was Friday, and I have a lot more coming. So I gauge what I do next based on where people are. Now, this is a tricky subject, but I'll show you in full disclosure. This is a true stat today. I just calculated it, and I made it abundantly clear to everybody in 2021. I did not like Cardano, and that caused a lot of consternation. Now, not so much. People kind of understand. But I did add a little bit to a retire on crypto portfolio at $1, feeling it would be an easy 3x. And I felt after, during the summer, there was a lot of bullish talk about Alonzo, and I thought that would be a very successful launch. As it turns out, no, it wasn't. The Plutus backend wasn't functioning properly, etc. And the adoption hasn't been what I expected. So I went from 3 upping to 4. If I kept it at 3, I would be out already. Instead, I held. And that was a mistake, everybody. Everybody is human. Everybody makes mistakes. My mistake was not selling at $3. So here we are. Why I hold today. My allocation is totally insignificant. It is 0.1% of all my crypto. It is absolutely a nothing burger. I am waiting for $3 because of a little bit of long-term capital gains reasons as well. And it's kind of a discipline. I like to get at least 3x of my money. And it's brutally low at $1.25, which it was a few hours ago. And I do believe it can make it to $3 if the whole market rallies. So if I take that ratio of $1.25 to $3, that's a 2.4x. And Solana, $180 by a 2.4x before 32, which is very in line with my expected case scenario for Solana. So from that perspective, they're kind of equivalent. But because Cardano is so beaten down, so low right now, it's kind of hard to sell. And I will do a Cardano exit strategy coming soon. I'm just working on some models, but I am very impatient. So there's the next slide I want you all to be aware of. First of all, the Cardano army is extremely bullish and very positive. So look at these numbers. There's a $27 target from Altcoin Gordon, I think it is. Dan Gambardella, he is a crypto recruiter. He posts about Cardano maybe 5 times a day. And he says $10 is coming. So we got $27, a $10 target. Kurt Cocaine just sold everything that he had for Cardano and Cody. So there's a lot of bulls out there. I tend not to be as bullish on this. And this is kind of what I believe is probably the cycle we are in. And you guys have seen this stuff before. It kind of starts a disbelief and hope and optimism and euphoria. Things go crazy. And then it tanks off. You can nearly map this out to direct times. After Alonzo launched in September, it just took a complete dump. Complacency, anxiety, capitulation, denial, panic, anger, depression. And I see all those emotions out there all the time. I do believe we will be going into a disbelief stage, which could take us to about $2.40 by my target. And from there, maybe time to go. Hope is not a strategy. This is a blood sport. I am ruthless. I don't wait forever for things to turn around. If I don't see action, adoption, growth, I move. So that's just the Cardano story. I know a lot of you hold it, so hope that helps. Next question from Guy Tony. What do you think will happen with Solana, Ethereum, etc. if when the SEC accuses them of being a security? In my mind, it doesn't mean end of story, but perhaps a fine and a restructure? Yes. Excellent question. So first of all, if you look at the market, you got your SEC going after Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, who knows what. The reason we built the crypto compendium was built for exactly this reason, to identify regulatory risk, tokenomics, everything else. That looks into how many people are lining their pockets on the inside and how decentralized they are, etc., etc. This is kind of critical. Now, there are 13,000 cryptos out there. The SEC needs to go after 95% of them before they go after real kind of cases. There's tons of pyramid Ponzi schemes out there, and there's a lot for them to do. So I always like to look at kind of the risk curve, and you've seen a version of this before, but here you got Bitcoin, totally safe. Ethereum, totally safe because it has the Lindy effect. It's been around for so long, and it's got over 240,000 validators. Then you got Cardano. It's been around for a long time. It's working on growing their validators too. You got your Chainlink, Solana, Elrond, up, all the way to the very right, which will remain nameless, but that is kind of where we are. The guys up, out, and to the right are the ones that are in danger first. I'm not too concerned. And even if somebody did something wrong, yes, the SEC will give them a smack in the wrist, fine them $20 million, $40 million. It's nothing to these multi-billion-dollar chains. So that's what happens. A little restructuring, a little bit of reallocation, maybe a little bit of a burn. Everything will be fine. That's where, so I'm not concerned at all. And even, let me go back for a second, even Gary Gensler said he's not going to go after Bitcoin, and Ethereum is safe too. So those two are completely safe. The rest remains to be seen, but he's got so much work to do. I mean, for him to go after and pick out one chain out of the blue and not go after all the other scams out there, it just doesn't seem possible. Great question. Thank you for that. Next question from Michael Saylor maybe. In the recent discussion between Michael Saylor and Raoul, Saylor makes some good points about the risk of altcoins being banned. What are your thoughts? Which altcoins do you believe may be compliant one day? And again, this is a beautiful question because it dovetails into the last question. So I like to look at three things that could determine if an altcoin is banned. One is illegal activity, like a Ponzi activity. Number two, the purpose. Is it required? So some of the questions goes beyond just being banned, but is it really needed? So for example, if Bitcoin becomes the currency of the internet and the L2s being built on Bitcoin work, there'll be no need for maybe L2s on other chains at all. And it'll do away with a lot of those points. And that's a lot of the theory that people like Jeff Booth, that I also spoke to, have in mind. The other thing that I think is most important is decentralization. And I like to look at the number of validators as a key metric for defining that. So here is kind of a quick list of the number of validators for some of the top chains. You've got 217,000 for Ethereum, Elrond 3,200, Cardano 2,900. That could be out of date. I know they've built up their number of validators recently. Solana is 1,291, Avalanche 1,159, etc. The more validators you have, the more decentralized it is in the eyes of regulators, as well as token distribution and everything else. So watch for that. The other thing is, when you have a chain and the CEO calls himself the CEO, it can be kind of scary. So that would be a little bit of a red flag for me, but that's the way I look at it. And again, I'm not too concerned about the SEC going after a lot of these other chains. It's just too much. It's too much for them to go after. Too many scams. He's going to be busy until infinity as far as I'm concerned. It takes a long time to prosecute stuff too. Next question from Daniel L. It seems like your price prediction in the retire portfolio doesn't match the ratio of 1 to 10 for Ethereum and 1 to 30 for Solana. Why? So first of all, price predictions change all the time, and I've got different versions. But let me just share this with the team here real quick. These are my 3 Solana price prediction models, and they haven't changed since Solana pretty much was $20, except the bull scenario for 2022, which, considering 2021 only has a couple of weeks left, I took those off. But we've already exceeded a lot of my 2021 targets, so it's kind of funny. We smashed through my best bear scenario for 2021 a long time ago. Anyway, these are my models right now. And I use them for the retire on Solana video for 2026, which is very, very important. These are also sandbagged very heavily, everybody. So I don't want to ever put out a price prediction that is overly bullish in case people get misled or whatever else. So here we are in 2022, because that's basically where we are right now. My bear scenario is 246 for Solana. Expected is 410, and that could hit in Q1 of next year. And bull scenario, if things really go crazy, 820, and I did up that from 750 based on the adoption of where we are with Solana right now. There is so much being built. It goes way beyond my wildest expectations. My original thesis was to be 20% of Ethereum's market cap based on activities, but it looks like it'll be achieved going forward. So that's the Solana price prediction model. Now, next question is, do you feel that Bitcoin trading 24/7 gives it an disadvantage to other markets in the event of negative news on the weekend? So I love this question. It is from Nick P. And I've been kind of trading this a long time. So I love going into the weekends because I spend a lot of time looking at the charts on Thursday and Friday and activities and on-chain analytics and options expiry, so I can determine what's actually going to happen. So this one, I got into a huge synthetic long. One of my biggest, and I am irresponsibly long MicroStrategy, but I love it because it's way better than the futures ETFs because I can play it much easier. And again, like I'll talk about this, but we'll tell, let me zoom out for a second. We're going to tell our grandchildren maybe one day. He said, yeah, I remember when I was a young man that the stock markets were only open 6.5 hours a day, or less than a quarter of all time in any given year. That's like, money doesn't sleep. Stock markets shouldn't sleep. So anyway, the point is I'm trying to make here is, if you can time things right and you can look at the data, here we see MicroStrategy and where it closed and where Bitcoin is today. Basically, the difference and the correlation between MicroStrategy and Bitcoin is up 8% in the swing since the stock market's closed. And that is what you can make a lot of money from. So I like the 24/7 advantage of crypto. And it's too easy. Even a caveman could do it. So you can't always predict what's going to happen. But you heard me say on DCA on Friday, I was extremely bullish going into the weekend. And that was why, because I made a very big bet on being bullish. So next question from Alex. What are some of your equity tactics in times of rapid market decline? I cover calls as hedges, long puts, short stocks, etc. Truth of the matter is, if the market does tank, capitulate all of a sudden, you're too late. You can't time it, because if that happens, volatility goes through the roof, options pricing goes through the roof, so you can't buy or sell anything quick enough. So you're stuffed. So what I like to do, the way I play the game, is I play the swing. I keep long-term in-the-money positions on my key assets like Tesla, Google, etc. I wait for them to get very toppy, and then I hedge them at the top. Google, I haven't seen a top in 20 months, so it just keeps going up. I also take into account tax management when I trade, because there's no point in trading too heavily. Some people like to hedge using iVol or other indices, but that doesn't work. I like to hedge very strategically. Think of it like surgically against my existing positions, which are, my big three. Again, Tesla, Google, MicroStrategy. And that's how I play the game. So I hope that helps, but you can't do it if the market tanks. It's too late. You got to be in before. You always have to be one step ahead and play where the puck is going to be. I think it was that famous Wayne Gretzky expression. All right, stock question. Have you looked at Overstock? It's an e-commerce business doing well, and the stock doesn't seem to value, etc., itself. And they also have some blockchain stuff with Medici Ventures and the tZero platform. I don't know much about Overstock. I used to know about it back in the day, but the way I invest is I like stocks that are truly disruptive. And Overstock, I do not see it as being that. They're trying to dabble in crypto, but it doesn't really reflect in the Overstock price. I like fast earnings growth. Earnings growth is 4.2% per year, which sucks. The average US stock market growth is 13.7%. Overstock's revenue is growing 9% per year. Average US market is 10% per year. So it's under the average. So it's two red flags for me there. However, I did dig into Overstock. Now, One thing I do know from experience is these types of retail stocks do very well at Christmas time, and their earnings are always sandbagged and they always blow them out of the water. So I do believe in Q1, when they report their earnings, they could do very, very well. Also looking at the chart, it has very nice support level here in this green line I drew in the chart within the Bollinger Bands. So not financial advice, and I wouldn't play this stock because it's not in my wheelhouse of disruption. But buying at 72 right now at this green support line, it should easily go to 100, 110 bucks within the next 3 to 6 months. So it could be a very nice swing trade. That's it. Not financial advice, but I do see an opportunity. I do see very little downside. Again, it could easily go to 140 bucks next year. So thank you for bringing it to my attention, but I will not be buying. So only ever do this if you really know what you're doing, but it could be a nice little covered call or a swing trade for people out there. And again, they are always very bullish. So this is my favorite time of the video. Your contributions, everybody, huge thank you. Help animals in need. And we have 3 beautiful new animals, some wild cats. And we have Manny the jaguar, Jinx the leopard, and Hutch, which is a serval. Manny spent his entire life at a zoo, and he's now retired at the Big Cat Rescue. He loves toys of all kinds. Jinx can easily hide in plain sight and is incredibly intelligent. He even tries to train his keepers. And Hutch was sadly kept as an exotic pet, but he's very chatty and he loves food, even though he looks very skinny. So thank you all. Appreciate that. And let's open to some Q&A and see what you guys have going on. And happy weekend, everybody. That's a lion. I think it's a serval. Serval, whatever they are. And looking at Bitcoin. Woohoo. So strong. Let me see. I should have some questions coming in. Yes, I do. And a big thank you as well to the beautiful moderators out there keeping us all safe from scammers and people who don't respect anybody. We don't care about subscribers, so we block everybody instantaneously if anybody's disrespectful to anybody. We don't give a toss. X-ray vision. If you get your Bitcoin rehypothecated and used for criminal purposes, could you lose it if government decides to seize it? Excellent, excellent question. So good news is you got to trust who you rehypothecate with. So Celsius, for example, and Nexo spend a lot of time analyzing who they work with to make sure that they are used only for very specific trading purposes and not for any shady type of environment. But yes, you're dead right. If it was used for criminal activity, it could be confiscated. And I know the FBI and the CIA have confiscated a lot of Bitcoin over the years. And in fact, Peter Thiel bought Bitcoin at an auction from the US government. Remy the Whippet, how are you, sir? Sol is currently at 11% market cap of ETH. On a scale of 1 to 10, do you think probability is that Sol claims 20% of ETH's market cap and we end up with Sol around 750 to 950? Lengthening cycles might make this a possibility. Yes, on the money. That's exactly where my 750 came, and I upped it, my bull case scenario, to 840 now, I think it is. It's exactly because of that. The thing is, Ethereum still has a lot of that moat, but if you look at the growth rate of things like TVL and users and adoption and dApps and DEXs, and you project that forward, it is staggering. And that's why I love Solana, okay? It's not because I like venture-backed things or centralized things or anything else. I like it because it's being adopted, it's easy to use, it's fully integrated, and so much is being built on it. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of other theories as well. If you look at, okay, say the flippening theories of ETH flippening Bitcoin, if that happens, 750 will look extremely conservative because they will run in conjunction together. But we've seen as well, Solana tends to run lagging a little bit behind Ethereum. So we'll see. And Ethereum has the ace in the hole, and that is the supply. Absolutely scarce. So Remy, hold tight. Again, anytime I go out away from my strategy of being all in on Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, I get my ass handed to me. I dabbled at Phantom. I lost. Got a little bit of Luna. That's okay. It's $1 over what I bought it for. But I could have made more money somewhere else. So, you know, that's why I only allocate small positions and I make very, very, very big high conviction bets on what I believe to be the winners. And it just shows you. Sometimes I do it for an experiment or because of so much pressure from the outside. You know, look at this, look at this, look at this. But each time I get my hand smacked and I learn. And it's good. It's a good $3,000, $5,000 lesson every time. So Ali Varfan, I'm still very bullish on Luna, by the way. Phantom, I don't never liked it for certain reasons. Ali, ZK recently pushed Matic up. Do you think it can push Dusk up too? Dusk is ready to use L1 base and ZK. I don't know Dusk. Let me have a very quick look at Dusk. Dusk is not one in our compendium. And let me see. Log into my little system here. Oh, these little things. Prove it's me. All right. This is interesting. Dusk Network. Privacy, marketplace, smart contracts. Yeah. Too small outside top 300. It looks okay, but I don't know. I'd have to see. The problem is, if you look at all the ZK rollups, all the layer 2s, there is one 800-pound gorilla, and nobody else is even close, and that's Matic. So I'm all in on Matic. That's probably my 5th biggest position, 4th or 5th, I can't remember exactly. And that's it. Don't dabble at this stage of the market with things outside the top 300. You're going to get killed. It's too late. It's too late for them to run, I believe. And I haven't even looked at the chart. The chart has run, it looks like. It's gone from 38 cents to 44 cents in the last while. But again, I don't see it. Now you need to be in your positions and you wait for the right time. This is not the time to go shopping. It's time to layer into your high conviction bets. No more gambling should happen at this stage of the game. There's too much out there already. And I'm very conservative. So let me see. YK824. With 3 children at home still in diapers, there is no such thing as play money for me. And yet I have to invest in this space for my children's future. How do you keep emotion out of it? Manipulation is taking its toll. Just hold tight. YK. Just minimize discretionary spending and get what you need for your kids and invest what you can. And think, your kids are in diapers, which means they got 16, 18 years left for this crypto investment to pay for their future. Now, as long as you can have your tap dancing shoes on and you can stack away, you will do very well. So just hold tight. Don't worry about manipulation taking a toll. Yes, the market will extend, but it's still going to go really well. I mean, I tweeted this morning, I said that we're going to break through 50K, where it's just like we're taking a third run at 50K. And always, when you go up against a resistance level like that and you hit it 3 times, it's like, sometimes if a jar is stuck and you can't open it, you twist it once, you twist it twice, 3rd time, pops. Same thing with this resistance level. They hit it with a little hammer, bang, 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 3rd time it cracks. And that's what happened. But just hold tight. Keep investing, keep stacking. The currency that you have over there in England with the Bank of England, their money printing and their debt is extraordinary. And that's going to debase like crazy again. So just get out of your British pounds and get into crypto. And because you have time, you can take on a little more risk too. Hien Win, I have options on MicroStrategy expiring January 20th, 2021. It does look like Bitcoin will make a run here. Should I roll the option forward? It depends what your strike is. Hien, I don't know what strike you're in. If you're very close to at the money, just remember MicroStrategy, my play last week, right before the markets closed, massive synthetic long, where I sold a put, bought a call. The strike was 550s and 570s, and pretty much break even to do that. And I do believe from 550, we'll go to 850, probably within 1 to 3 months. So if you are, say, below the 750 level strike, you could be in trouble. Roll it forward because the premium is still very high. But that premium for holding, if you are on a call option, it's going to melt away real fast within the next 6 weeks. You don't want to be selling the time value unless Bitcoin really goes on a tear. So be careful holding onto those short-term calls because this is the scary time to be holding them. Nico K, your favorite Canadian here. Hey, Nico. Axia coin, AXE. Boom, let's have a look. If we even have Axia. I have never heard of it. Therefore, I don't think it's in there unless it's a new entrant. Axia protocol. Axia Coin. Axia Coin's number 3,407. Nico, you know better. We only analyze the top 300. We don't go top 3,500. Do you know how much time that would take to analyze 3,500 bags of crap? No. Let me have a very quick look. I'll tell you if it's crap or not. Yep. Okay. Check out my GRQ video last Tuesday. I already can see 3 red flags, and they're all covered in my GRQ video. Things like self-circulating, self-reported self-circulating supply. Okay? It's a freaking scam. Don't touch it, man. I can't believe I've been doing this for nearly a year and people are still making the same mistakes. And I love my Canadians. Everybody, just be careful. It's just so much garbage out there. And remember, the money now gravitates towards the winners. The losers will shrivel up and die. Swift Tropics, can you please discuss exit strategy for coins Uni, Aave, Algo, Cardano? Less than 50% from all-time high versus hodling the same coins in retirement portfolio. So part of the problem with things like Uni and Aave is they're kind of ETH based, and they're getting hit hard for 2 reasons. One is the fees, and 2 is the competition. Algo, I'm still holding because they have a lot of enterprise plays happening. Cardano, you heard my story on that. Again, tiny positions. My Aave position is kind of large. I was extremely bullish on Aave, and I have a little hedge against that with another play. But overall, I'm 98% Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. So if they all go to zero, I'm not really concerned. But we will manage them. I'm waiting for the market to rally. And that's why I'm starting to release the exit videos, because these next 3 months will be critical. So we need to have our fingers on the triggers in case these things do run. And Aave has a tendency to spike. I'm not sure why, but it can sometimes spike to 450. And that's the time to get out if you're in it. So stay tuned for those exit videos coming up. And thank you as well for all the positive feedback. I thought there'd be a lot of negative feedback from the exit videos that I was turning into a bear, but I'm very happy. Everybody likes them. Good. And there'll be a lot more coming. Kotlin Seifert, have you ever done a coin gauntlet for Ergo? Ergo, I don't know what a coin gauntlet is. Sounds like jumping over a fence or something. Let me see. Ergo. I remember Ergo. Ergo. No, it's outside the top 300. So if you mean compendium score, no, we haven't, I'm afraid. Sorry about that. Again, stick with the established players. Anything outside the top 300 is gambling. Yes, you can make money, but 99% of the time, you'll lose money. And that's just a simple fact of life. And that's mathematically proven. Where's my crypto? Instead of selling same amount of tokens per tranche, thoughts on selling a few tokens, then increasing the amount of sold tokens per every tranche. You can do that. This, per the exit model, it's a simple example. I have variations of it, which are far more complicated, depending on loads and probabilities across lines. But I've discovered if I start sharing complex models, it's very difficult for people to replicate and build their own model. I show you guys the way. You do your own research and pick your own exit based on your cost basis, your risk profile, and where you believe the lines are going to be. That's the whole angle here. But yeah, you can do that. So for example, the way I like to look at it, if you imagine Cardano, your high probability, you get to 240, and that's a 60% chance of that. And there's a 20% chance we'll get to $3. And then the other 20% chance is under that. Then you put all of your big load, like 60% of your sale, your tranche, at the $239 level. That's how you exit. So it's a great question, and you're dead right. Cryptolicious, I'm 68 years old. Well, I'm happy you're in crypto. It's such a cool name. That's cool. I'm not far behind you, sir. Irresponsibly invest in our top 3 cryptos. 5 to 10 years to wait before the largest gains, not probable. I want to enjoy some before I croak. Any thoughts on how to strategize? So 5 to 10 years, you don't have to wait. Things will already be very, very good, I believe, in the next 2 to 3 years. Even early next year, Q1, there's a ton of money coming in from pension funds. If you look at the amount invested in Canada, for all the Canadians out there, the Canadian spot ETF just bought, 3,600, 4,000, a ton of Bitcoin over the last week or so. So this thing is going to pop, okay? I just don't know when, but it's going to be soon. It's going to explode. We have money coming in, and there is no supply. The miners aren't selling. There's no supply out there. The hodlers, 85% of them are holding tight because they're waiting for 5 years from now. So once the money comes in, this thing is just going to go straight up. So look, take Cathie Wood. Okay, huge respect for her. You know, sometimes her time series can be a little bit off, but she says 550, 2025. Okay, so hold tight for now. Keep your tap dancing shoes for whatever else you may have in your bag. Some things, it's all programmed to go up. So just hold tight and stay healthy. That's your big focus. Sleep well, get good nutrition, and stay away from danger. Don't ride that motorbike. Colin the coin. With increasing investment in cryptos, remove a lot of investment from the stock market and significantly devalue over the next few years. It's already happening. So if you look at 90% of the stock market over the last, say, 5 years, it's flat or down. All the money is flowing into the big black holes, and that's what it does. You know, the Googles, the Microsofts, the Teslas, they're sucking in all the money. But people that would traditionally invest in other stocks, they're not. So that's why this 3 trillion asset of crypto is going to go through the roof. It's going to be 10 trillion, 20 trillion, 100 trillion in the next 5 years. And that's just what's going to happen. So yeah, also people will determine what they're doing right now. I'll give you another example. You didn't mention the real estate market, but people are going to say, hey, should I buy a house or should I invest in crypto? I've got $100,000. Do you know what they're doing? They're buying crypto. They're not even buying the house. So, and they're not investing in Walmart or Costco or Microsoft or Oracle or Adobe. So yeah, you're dead right. Colin the coin. It's a lot is going to go into crypto, and we are still so early. And that is the exciting thing. So everybody out there, promise me, focus on health and stick around for the next 5 years because they're going to be fantastic. That's the big focus. Remy, you're back again. I'm in Cali and have a large bag of ADA from 2019 that I want to put up as collateral in Celsius, 25% loan to value to help with my down payment on my home. Good idea. I can repay it in 2 months. Margin call at 40 cents. Is that risky? No, I think you're fine at 40 cents. And that's a good use. So the fact that you have your big bag from 2019, you've got a huge amount of profit and you just want to use it without selling it. But what I would nearly consider safer, because there's a lot of unknowns and considering it's probably a substantial bag, why not sell it, take the long-term capital gain, stick it in Bitcoin and borrow against your Bitcoin at 0% in California with Celsius? That's the safer bet. Okay. So Bitcoin, you know, everybody says the floor is at 42K. Worst black swan scenario event would be 20K, which would be along the lines of your margin call here with Cardano. So considering it's against your house to borrow for the down payment, you need to make sure it is pristine. You can't afford any risk. Okay. And the downfall of Cardano has been quite staggering. I knew it wouldn't be good, but I didn't think it would be this bad. It even took me by surprise. And I was the ultimate Cardano bear all year. So, Remy, think about that. Or even do half for safety. Sell half your Cardano bag, buy Bitcoin with it, borrow against both. That way you're kind of hedged. You can keep your finger in the pot. It'd be a shame to sell Cardano at this low price. But I think that's a good way to think about it too. So I hope this helps. And be very careful. And I want to thank everybody for your donation. Desert Dog, Justice for All. How you doing, my friend? Just want to know you're okay. I'm fine. Eyes are a bit tired, but it's the weekend. I'm going to take the afternoon off. Alistair Parker, MT, Justice for All, Beatty McGee, Playing with Pastels, Artem, Silver Surfer, Steve G, Chicken Wise, Bullish Bear, Investor German Girl in Virginia, Tony X, Antor 78, Power Privilege, and Dom M. Thank you so much, everybody. I think that's a wrap. Wow, we got all that done in less than 40 minutes. That was a truckload. I hope, let me know as well if I'm speaking too fast. I've had some complaints that I speak too fast. I'm trying to slow it down. It helps me breathe. I was kind of exasperating myself a lot in the past. So thank you, everybody. I'm just waiting for the message. Yes, I am speaking too fast. Okay. But I get so excited. I can't stop. Thank you all for the comments. Appreciate you all. Happy Sunday. Big thank you to the mods as well and everybody out there and all the donations. Be safe. Should be a good weekend still.